Alright, back with more of this interactive commercial, because that's essentially what it is. I'm sure there's some neckbeard out there watching this who's absolutely frothing with rage at the prospect of this just being a commercial, and no, it's not, but it's okay. Commercials are alright. At least it's an entertaining commercial, if nothing else. So if they were gonna make a video game based on a Sony commercial, why didn't they make the video game version of that PSP commercial they had back in the day with the talking mice who were supposed to represent people of a certain community, let's say, and they were thrilled at the prospect of cheese that you could play with outside, and that's what the PSP was supposed to represent in this whack-ass commercial, was cheese that you can play with outside. You guys have seen that. He's like, "Hey, yo, Eddie, what you doing with your cheese outside?"
I'm listening to cheese, but there's portable cheese.
PSP. It's like cheese you can listen to outside.
So that character we just walked past, it represents the Order 1866. I thought about getting it based solely on that character we just saw, but then I actually looked into the game, and it's just one of those interactive movies or something dumb like that. So yeah, not gonna buy the Order 1866. So, what else? We picked up the PS4 VR unit back there. That's pretty cool. Someday I'm gonna get into VR, but down I go. Someday I want to get into VR, but I want to wait for it to actually get good, when it's a seamless experience. We're getting close though. I'd say maybe like 2 or 3 more years before I'm willing to take the plunge into the VR realm. I'm gonna be like the Lawnmower Man. What, wasn't that a theme of the movie, The Lawnmower Man? Virtual reality? Yeah, it was. What an odd movie. We're gonna experiment on a retarded man and make him genius through the powers of zapping him with electricity and virtual reality, and wouldn't you know it worked. But then it worked too well and he became a villain. What an odd premise for a film. I've never actually seen the movie I'm describing to you. I just saw the trailer once, but I think I get the gist. I also looked up the synopsis on Wikipedia, so between those two things I've basically seen it. So yeah, that's what people came to this Astro's restroom playthrough for, a discussion of the Lawnmower Man. Oh dearie. So, on the subject of brand worship, I want to see if I can hit him from here. I guess you can't really tell if the arrow went that far because we're in 720p. So I guess that's just left up to the imagination. There's no way to hit the GPU. Wouldn't it be funny if the PS5 stopped working if you hit the GPU with one of your arrows, like the game stopped functioning correctly and the picture was all screwed up? And I mean, it certainly wouldn't be funny for anybody who owned a PS5.
Oh my God!
This thing cost me $500, and they just put a kill switch in Astro's Playroom behind that one mechanic. Oh dear. It's one of those things where in hindsight it would be funny. I mean, certainly not at the time, but yeah, more companies need to do funny things like that. Have Easter eggs that destroy your console. Can you imagine the Redditor rage? How could you do this to us, Sony? I'm a Redditor. You can't just deface my beloved game system. I'm a sophomore in college. That's basically the essence of Reddit complaints. It's a bunch of entitled 22-year-old men complaining about video games. That's 90% of Reddit. You can't do this to me. My mom says I'm a special little boy. So this boss is going pretty smoothly. Looks like something out of a Quetzal's Corridors for the 3DS. And you ever play that one? I bought it because of the glowing review that IGN gave it, before I realized that game reviews as a concept are stupid and they always overhype things. And The guy was saying, "Wow, Ketzel's Corridors is so amazing. I sat there for 8 hours, and the only indication of time passing was when the light of the new morning crept in through my window and the streaks hit my 3DS screen." Yeah, they really tend to overhype things on the internet. In the actual game, it was just your standard $5 3DS game. Line up the blocks with the holes, but with an Aztec theme. Ooh. So yeah, Ketzel's Corridors for the 3DS doesn't get a recommendation from me. I'm so glad I don't listen to game reviewers anymore. They don't know. I feel like a lot, not just game reviewers, but social media in general tends to overhype things in general. Remember all the hype surrounding the PS4 when it first came out, and it was just PS4 mania on Reddit for pretty much all of 2014, and every damn day you'd go on there and there'd be 20 different pictures of people just holding the PS4, waving it at you, and each one would have a different story, and "Look at what I just got for my birthday," and "I was just in the PS4 section of my local store, and look what they had. I was just out dumpster diving and I found one of these," and every damn day it was just PS4 this and PS4 that. You know, when you see 20 pictures of something every day for a year, you start to get a skewed perspective of it, and you think, well, there must be something to this, something amazing about it that I'm just not seeing. Why else would there be this much excitement? But then you realize you're not supposed to browse Reddit every single day, and the site's designed with the assumption that you're only going to see maybe 4 or 5 of those PS4 pictures and not 300 of them over the course of 2 months. And, let that be a lesson. Don't spend hours and hours on Reddit. Just don't go to Reddit at all. For those of you who are new to this channel, that's a recurring theme of this commentary is hating on Reddit and Redditors, and I hate that smelly old place and anyone who goes on there. But anyway, yeah, all the PS4 worship was very annoying. Everyone on social media was basically acting like those little green aliens from Toy Story, acting like the PS4 had saved their lives. And you remember that scene from Toy Story, don't you? "You saved our lives. We are eternally grateful. Get 'em off me." Toy Story was a good movie. That's a real hot take in 2021, praising a generally well-received movie that came out 26 years ago. Well, I guess I don't always have to be a contrarian. So what's in this fancy box up here? What do we got? Ooh, the PlayStation Move with its cool blinky light. So yeah, oh wait, no, PSVR aim controller. I thought that was part of the PS Move thing they did during the PS3 era. They wanted to cash in on the success of the Nintendo Wii, and so every game company out there had a variation of the Wii where you had to wave your arms around like a fool, and oh, what a dark time it was. Those motion controls barely even worked half the time. Thank goodness those days have ended. You see how the buttons are colored like the PS4? Okay, well, there it goes. Anyway, the circles were the same colors as the PlayStation face buttons. And look at that, we got the PS4 menu in the sky. Can we rotate the camera, please? I guess we'll get to it later. That character we just passed by was from a Journey, I think. I bought it on... I bought Journey on Steam, but I never really get around to it. Not that you care. So anyway, yeah, you got the cool PS4 waves out in the sky. We're living in the land where the PS4 menu exists. I don't know. Commentary is hard. In South Australia I was born, heave away, haul away. South Australia is my home, we're bound for South Australia. Haul away, you rolling kings, heave away, haul away. Haul away, you'll hear me sing, we're bound for South Australia. I don't know, I'm just filling time. Maybe I should have made this episode a little shorter if I'm this desperate for stuff to say. So now we're back in the main central Sony worship hub where you can look at all the items you've collected. So let's go do that. PlayStation Labo. It's like that other funnier channel did that one time. What the frack? You see those tiny little people holding up the VR bar? It's like this Game Informer thing I read once, where they joked that there was a tiny little man inside of every PS3, and they had like a photoshopped picture of one of the magazine writers, and he was dressed like in ragged clothes, and he was like a little troll, and they made him like inside the PS3, and he had a speech bubble that said, "Arrgh, your games kill me, they do." And so yeah, the concept of tiny little people inside your game console has existed for many years. Okay, so we're collecting a few more puzzle pieces. As Katy Perry once famously said, "I finally found you, my missing puzzle piece." Whatever happened to Katy Perry anyway? She just kind of fell off the bandwagon. So there you go, 2004, now in puzzle piece form. I was trying to do a reference to that Simpsons joke with, "Hey look, Alf's back, but in pog form." I feel like there's lots of untapped humor in the formula of X is back, but in Y form. What's another example we could do with it? I can't think of anything. Comedy's heard. So there's the PSP camera. I'd imagine that must have looked pretty awkward, like just sitting on top of an actual PSP. I mean, I never had a PSP, and I didn't know anyone who did, so I don't rightly know what that looked like, but it seems kind of odd to have that weird hunk of metal and plastic, just hanging off of your game system. Feel like it would rest uncomfortably in your pocket. Just letting all those circuit boards press against the side of your leg like an animal. So there are many more PlayStation items to collect over the coming days, so stay tuned for that. Next episode, we're gonna have a special guest star. We're gonna have the guy who played Mr. Peterman on Seinfeld. So yeah, that'll be pretty cool. Yeah.